Hi guys, this video is in response to Angel Kramer, who had asked if I would do a fall favorites review. Apparently Angel is getting ready to place an order, so I hope that you, Angel, and anybody else for that matter, finds this review helpful. This was a hard one for me to do because there are so many scents that I consider more cold weather scents that I absolutely love from Candles by Victoria. Typically I think most of us prefer bakery scents or some of the spicier scents in the fall because of the fact that they're just comforting. And not all of these, though, are going to be probably what most people would consider typical fall scents. So even though it was extremely hard for me to narrow this down, I think I've got it down to like 12. So I'm just going to jump right in. The first one, I'm sorry, I see hair here on my shoulder and it's driving me a little batty. The first one is actually one that I don't have any more of, and that's Bonfire Bliss, which is a relatively new scent from Victoria. It came out, I'm sorry, I don't remember which month it was. I want to say it was about 6 months ago. It's sweet and marshmallowy, but then you get this earthy smokiness in there, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful fall scent. Another that I really like is one of those typical bakery scents, and one that you've all heard me talk about numerous times before. I think this is probably one of my, if not my favorite, bakery scent from Victoria, and that's Lemon Gingersnap Pie. Now, I do melt this year round, but I think that ginger snap in there gives it enough spiciness that it makes it a perfect fall scent. And then you still get that clean creaminess from the lemon. Chocolate peppermint splash might not be one that a lot of people would associate with fall. The reason I do is because our fall evenings especially are extremely cold. I live in northern Wisconsin, so our summer season is extremely short, and fall here typically begins no later than mid-September and lasts right up until the 1st of December. So, you know, we're getting a lot of frost and falling crispy, crunchy leaves. And when we do have those kind of evenings, or even in the afternoon, you know, when we're out raking leaves and you come in and your fingers are cold and the tip of your nose is cold and you're sniffling and sneezing, chocolate peppermint splash is just a scent that I really like because it reminds me of like drinking a peppermint patty, which is basically just hot chocolate with a shot of, I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue again, a shot of peppermint schnapps in it. Now, normally I'm not a peppermint fan, but because of the sweetness of the chocolate in here, and even though I'm not a drinker, I do occasionally like a peppermint patty on those chilly fall evenings. So I love this scent for the fall. Cinnamon raisin bread is another you've heard me talk about several times in the past. It's, excuse me, it is heavy on the cinnamon, but this is a sweet bakery cinnamon, and smells like exactly what it says, cinnamon raisin bread. The raisin in here gives it this sweetness, and it's very doughy smelling, if that makes sense. I love this scent, and this is one that I typically burn from probably the first part of September through the end of April. This is one that my husband also loves, and one that I have gotten so many compliments on when people come into my house, and this is in the warmer. Another that might not be typically thought of as a fall scent is black licorice. Now, I know there are a lot of people who are not going to like this scent, and I was surprised by how much I like it. To me, I don't know, it does smell like black licorice, but it smells a little bit more to me because there is just this added sweetness to it. It smells like, I believe they're called snaps, the little licorice bites with the hard candy coating on the outside. That's what this smells like to me. Now, that anise can become a little bit overpowering, and this is an extremely strong thrower. So when that anise does get too strong even for me, and I like a strong scent. I'll throw a little bit of Vanilla Bean Noel in here to tone it down a little bit, but I just think this is a perfect scent for like Halloween. Apple Cobbler. This reminds me so much of my grandma, who was always baking, especially in the fall. This is a sweet apple. It's not like Granny Smith apple is not what I get out of this. Somebody else might, but I get more of a Macintosh apple. Again, that sweet bakery cinnamon, but it's not overpowering. There's actually less cinnamon in here than there is in cinnamon raisin bread. This, it almost smells like cinnamon applesauce, sort of. But then you get that really sweet, yummy bakery crust. So that is another that I like to burn from, or melt. I'm sorry, I don't normally burn. I will melt that typically from the first part of September through the end of April. And there are a lot of apple orchards around here, and the school children a lot of times go to the apple orchards and field trips, and so that's just a really nice memory-inducing scent for me. Pecan Pie. No, we're not big pecan pie people here in the north, but I mean, not like people are in the south. But I love this scent. It is so rich and so buttery, and it's like caramely nuttiness, and again that bakery crust. That I love this. I actually had a hard time choosing between this and sweet potato pie, which is another of those yummy bakery scents. This one's a little bit heavier on the butter, so if you're not a huge fan of the buttery scents, I'm not sure that this one would be good for you. You might want to try the sweet potato pie instead. I love this scent. This is one of those scents, excuse me again, when I walk into the house and I smell that filling the air, it just makes me want to sit down on the couch and curl up with a good book. Pumpkin Pralines is another of those that does that to me. Now this is more of an earthy pumpkin. There is a little bit of spiciness in here, but it's another that's not overly spicy, and you do get a bit more of that earthiness, like, you know, just pulling a pumpkin fresh out of the ground, and you get that almost, I don't want to put anybody off by saying this, but excuse me, that almost, you know, where the dirt is still clinging to the outside of the pumpkin. Not that this smells dirty, because it doesn't. It's just that kind of earthiness, farmer's market earthiness, if you will. And then you get that rich caramely creaminess from the pralines in here. This is one of my husband's favorites, and another that people have complimented and commented on every time they have walked in the house, and this has been melting. Why I Autumn. This one was actually a surprise to me. I don't know why, reading the scent description, that I didn't think I would like this. Probably because there's anise in here, which I'm actually finding out that I do like. In addition to the anise, and it's not an overpowering anise like the black licorice is, so please don't let that throw you off. There's a little bit of woodsiness in here, like walking on those crunchy fall leaves. And then there's cinnamon and a tiny hint of apple, and I think there's a little bit of lemon in here. And a little bit of ginger, wonderful for the fall. And country bumpkin. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that scents like country bumpkin, which is very heavy on the spice. Clove, cinnamon, possibly a little bit of nutmeg or ginger. I'm not really sure. I've heard people say that scents like this remind them of walking into like a craft store like Michael's in the fall, and I understand completely why they say that. Country bumpkin also has just the tiniest hint of marshmallow and apple in it. This is a little bit sweeter than, like, say, Amish quilt or patchwork quilt, if you're familiar with either one of those. Equally as good. I had a hard time choosing among the three, and Country Bumpkin just happened to win out. So that's it. I hope that everybody, or Amy, or I'm sorry, Angel in particular, will find this review helpful. Again, I'm sorry for stumbling over my tongue. It's been a very long week, and it's actually getting relatively late in the evening. Thankfully, we still do have summer at this point in time, so it's light until 9 o'clock. But I'm going to sign off for now, and I will catch you again on Friday. Thanks for watching.